Hello everyone, I am Suvarna Gaikwad, working as Assistant Professor in Rayat Shikshan Samsthas Dada Patil Mahavidyalaya, Karjat. I welcome you all in the TYBSc paper 2nd, that is Cell and Molecular Biology. So friends, as we are dealing with the cell biology paper, in previous session we have seen part first of topic chromosome. So in today's session we are going to see part second of chromosome. Okay, so let's start. So in this particular session we are going to focus on introduction, chemical composition, then heterochromatin, euchromatin and the different types of giant chromosomes. Okay, so let's start. So friends, in previous session we have seen the introduction of chromosome. So chromosomes are thread-like structures present in the nucleus and they play important role in heredity, variation, evolution and mutation also. So each chromosome consists of centrally placed the centromere, then there are chromatids. So these centromere divides the chromosome into two arms. Short arm is the P arm and the long arm is the Q arm. Okay, so this is a typical structure of a chromosome. Now we are going to see what is the chemical composition of a chromosome. So chemically, chromosomes are composed of two main factors. First is the nucleic acid and second is the proteins. Let's study one by one. So the first component is the nucleic acid. So the DNA and the proteins, they combine together and form deoxyribonucleoprotein. Okay. Now this is a figure of nucleosome. So these are the histone proteins and on that there is a wrapping of DNA. So DNA and proteins, okay, and they form a complex called as deoxyribonucleoprotein. So in 90% of the chromosomes, the DNA constitutes 35% and the proteins constitutes 55%. And the remaining 10% of the part is the residual chromosome. Okay, so this is the nucleic acid. And coming to the protein part, so there are two types of proteins involved in the chromosome. One is histone proteins and second is non-histone proteins. So these histone proteins, they are of five types: H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. Okay. Now two molecules of each, that is 2 molecules of H2A, 2 molecules of H2B, 2 molecules of H3 and 2 molecules of H4, they all constitute a single nucleosome. Okay. So in previous session or slide we have seen the typical structure of nucleosome. Okay. So in this figure, this is the H2A, H2B, H3, H4. This is a octamer and here H1 protein is not there. H1 protein is separately present. Okay. Now these are the histone proteins and on that this is the DNA. Okay. Now the DNA which links the nucleosomes, it is called as linker DNA, and the DNA which is wrapped around these proteins, it is called as core DNA. Okay, so this is a histone octamer which is formed by two molecules of these histone proteins. Okay. Now these histone protein has more concentration of two amino acids, that is arginine and lysine. Okay. So this is the histones, and second proteins are the non-histones. So, non-histone proteins, they remain in the chromosome even after the DNA and the histones have been removed. Okay, and these are acidic in nature and they contains main amino acids as tryptophan and tyrosine. Okay, so in this way, histone and non-histone, they constitute the protein part of the chromosome. Coming to the word chromatin. Now the complex which is formed by the DNA and the protein is called as the chromatin. Okay, so this is a chromatin structure. In that, this is a histone octamer, this is a nucleosome, and this is the histone, and this is a DNA. Okay. So these complex which is formed by DNA and protein is called as chromatin. The chromatin is made up of nucleosome. As we have seen, what is the nucleosome? So these chromatin, it is of two types. First is the heterochromatin and second is the euchromatin. Let's study what is the difference between these. So this is the heterochromatin. These heterochromatic regions take more stain. That is, they are darkly stained than euchromatic regions. Okay? And the DNA of heterochromatin, that does not transcribe mRNA. So this is an important note. DNA of heterochromatin does not transcribe mRNA. Okay? And if we want to study or if we want to identify the stage of heterochromatin, at that time the pagitine, it is the most suitable stage for locating heterochromatic regions. So these are the highly condensed portion, okay, and which are darkly stained areas of the chromatin are called as heterochromatin. Now these heterochromatin, these are of two types. First is the constitutive heterochromatin and second is the facultative heterochromatin. Okay, constitutive heterochromatin remains condensed throughout the cell cycle. Okay, and it cannot revert back to the euchromatin structure. So these constitutive heterochromatin, these are present in corn. Okay, whereas the facultative heterochromatin, it is not permanently condensed because it can revert back to the euchromatin structure. Okay, and it is present in the mammalian females. So basic difference is constitutive heterochromatin do not revert to the euchromatin, but facultative heterochromatin can revert back to the euchromatin. Okay. Now the euchromatin, as compared to heterochromatin, these are the regions of euchromatin which are lighter in staining. Okay, so during interphase, certain regions of the chromatin, they stain lighter, and that chromatin are called as euchromatin. They consist of less tightly coiled chromatin fibers. That is, they are loosely arranged, they are diffused in nature. Okay, so they are less tightly coiled. But the basic difference between heterochromatin and euchromatin is DNA of euchromatin, they synthesize mRNA. Okay, whereas the DNA of heterochromatin, they do not synthesize mRNA. Okay, because the U means true, so they synthesize mRNA and it occupies most of the nucleoplasm. Okay, so this is the euchromatin. So friends, Let's focus on the another concept of the chromosome, that is the giant chromosomes. Giant means huge in nature. So the chromosomes which are extremely large as compared to normal chromosome are called as giant chromosomes. They are very long and thick, approximately 200 times than normal chromosomes. Okay, and they are easily observed during the metaphase. So these type of chromosomes called as giant chromosomes, and especially they are of two types. First is the polytene chromosome and second is the Lamb-Rush chromosome. Let's study one by one. So this is a typical structure of a polytene chromosome. Okay. So this polytene chromosome was firstly discovered by scientist Balbiani in salivary glands of Chironomus larvae. Okay. As they are firstly observed in salivary glands, so this chromosome also called as salivary gland chromosome. Okay. It called as polytene. The word means poly means many and teen means strand, because this chromosome contains many chromonemata in it, and so it is called as polytene chromosome. Okay, and these chromosomes have larger size of chromosome because the repeated divisions of chromonemata without their separation. So they are larger in size. Let's study its structure. So these are different arms of the polytene chromosomes. In this figure we are able to observe the different types of arms. This is a right arm of chromosome 2. This is a left arm of chromosome 2. This is a chromocentral, and this is a left arm of chromosome 3, and this is the right arm of chromosome 3. So in this way, these polytene chromosome consist of 6 arms. Out of that, 5 arms are long and 1 arm is short. And these 6 arms, they radiating from a central point. That point is called as chromocenter. Okay. Now the morphology. So these chromosomes have 3 main features. The first feature is the bands. Now the strips which are present in these chromosomes, they are called as bands. And the region between these bands, they are lightly stained. These are called as interbands. Okay. About 80% of the DNA is located in bands and the 15% DNA is located in interbands. Now the chromatin is darkly stained in the band region and it is lightly stained in the interband region. Okay, so this is the band region. The second feature of this chromosome is size, that is they are giantly sized. So these have giant size because the length of this chromosome, which is approximately 200 times more than normal chromosome. Okay, and the third important feature of this chromosome is formation of puffs. So some of the bands, they are visible in a solen form. Okay, and these solen forms, they are called as puffs. Okay, and when a puff becomes very much enlarged, at that time it is called as Balbiani ring. And these puffs, so these are the puffs. So these puffs, they represent the sites of DNA synthesis, that is the sites of gene transcription. So in this figure, we are able to see formation of puff, this enlarged portion. Then these are the dark bands and these are the interbands. Okay, so puffs, bands and giant size, these are the three important features of polytene chromosome. Moving on its function. So due to the multiple copies of genes, there is a high level of gene expression. So this is the most important function of the polytene chromosome. So friends, this is all about the first giant chromosome, that is the polytene chromosome. Let's see the second type of giant chromosome, that is Lamb-Brush chromosome. Lamb-Brush chromosomes, so this is the figure of Lamb-Brush chromosome. Okay, now the chromosomes in which large number of loops are projected out from the chromatin axis is called as Lamb-Brush chromosome. So this chromosome is called as Lamb-Brush because it looks like the brush which was used to clean the lambs once upon a time. Okay, so it is called as Lamb-Brush chromosome. So this chromosome was discovered by scientist Fleming in oocytes of amphibians. It is also found in oocytes of fish, then reptiles and amphibians and certain birds. So these Lamb-Brush chromosomes are much larger than the polytene chromosomes. Okay, let's see its morphology. So in the diploid stage of cell division, these chromosomes consist of two homologous chromosomes, and these two homologous chromosomes are in contact with each other only at a certain point. That point is called as chiasma. Okay, so this is a point of contact. This is a maternal chromosome and this is a paternal chromosome, and this is the point of contact, that is the chiasma formation. Okay, now each chromosome of this pair consists of two chromatids which lie together and form a chromosome axis or main axis. Okay, the axis is differentiated into the chromomere. So these are the dark in color and these are the loops. So loops are lighter in color. So these loops are formed on both sides of this axis. Okay, and each chromatid has one chromomere. So this is the figure for Lamb-Brush chromosome. This is the axis, these are the chromomere and these are the loops. This is the enlarged portion of this loop portion. Okay, so in this figure, so this is a Lamb-Brush chromosome and the small a, that is this portion, it is the telomeric loop. Telomere, that is the end portion of the chromosome, as we have seen it in the first part of chromosome. So this is the telomeric loop. Okay, then the small b, that is these are the side loops. Okay, these are the side loops, and the small c, it is the chromatid without loops. So this is a telomeric loop, these are the side loops and these are the chromatid without loops. Okay, this is also structure of Lamb-Brush chromosome. Coming to the function of Lamb-Brush chromosome. So there are two important functions of this chromosome. First function, it is the RNA synthesis, and second is this chromosome helps in the formation of yolk material for the egg. Okay, so this is all about the second type of chromosome, that is Lamb-Brush chromosome. In that we have seen its introduction, morphology and the function. So friends, these are certain references for this topic. So we will stop here and meet in the next session with the new topic of cell and molecular biology. So thank you very much.